all sweet, and I think that we are okay. I'm so used to saying like, hey guys, how you going? So down BKRsport, that this is obviously a new one to come over here and not do that. And we are obviously on BKRtravel right now, which is a completely different channel to what we create over on BKRsport, where that is all sport related, that is all Chicago Bulls, NRL, all the likes, right? But as you can see, and I've been saying this to you guys on BKRsport recently as well, that I am going to be doing a lot more stuff here on BKRtravel. And in 2025, we are going to be actually going crazy with it, because we have got about, I think it's 9 or 10 countries that we plan to visit in 2025. It is going to be a really, really crazy time. And this video here is going to be us going through all the different countries and where we do plan, obviously shoot through, your comments and talk. If you are here live, well, obviously we are still a growing channel over here, so I don't know how many people will actually tune in, but this is the first video of the start of what we're going to be creating here on BKRtravel, and that's going to be every 2 days. So obviously today is Wednesday, then Friday, then Sunday, then Tuesday. So every single time a new video will come out will be every 2 days, which is going to be good, and it's going to be able to help me get away from all that craziness of the sport as well. And I love traveling. I love experiencing the world, experiencing different cultures, different perspectives, and seeing how other people live. And I find that you really do mature a lot, and you do understand a lot more by getting out of your comfort zone and going to places that you never thought that you would go, or going to areas that you never thought that you would be a part of in your life. I plan to do that. That's exactly what I want to do here. I want to go and experience all these different cultures and different perspectives from around the world, not just Gold Coast, Australia, or not just Australia itself, man. So yeah, look, it's going to be definitely exciting. And like I said, 2025 is going to be a really, really big year. And I've got to really get used to the adjustment where we're not talking so hype and so crazily all the time. But this is going to be a bit of a chill stream here, guys. So yeah, I appreciate you as always, and obviously hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. But as you can see here on the screen, we have got all the different countries in the world. And I'm obviously just going to click this one here because we can start off there with Australia. I don't need to explain that we're going to be visiting and doing vlogs and creating content in Australia. Obviously, that is where I'm from. And, that's a pretty big starting point. I'm actually not even in Australia right now, so this first video is coming to you from Fiji. But, that doesn't really need to be said. I would like to get to different places around Australia though. Like obviously the Gold Coast I've experienced, and Queensland I've experienced, and even a lot of Sydney and Melbourne and the likes. But I would like to go a little bit askew as well, a bit more obscure, and just kind of see how the rest of the country lives and how the rest of the country is, because there is a lot of differences and vast differences between places on the East Coast, let alone in the middle, let alone on the West Coast and whatnot. Tasmania, I'm really looking forward to at some point being able to get to there. But yeah, look, I thought that obviously Australia would be just, click the red there. But let's just see if there, I don't know if there is. Oh, there is actually a few people here. Oh, good on you. I appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate you tuning in. Actually, I'm going to make Jay a moderator because he's the best moderator in the business. Daz is here as well. Add as moderator. I need somebody to control all the time. Which one is it? Managing. There you go. I can do that one. Save. Beautiful. Is this an online geography class? Yeah, pretty much, Jay. This is an online geography class here. Well, I guess you will learn a little bit about the geography throughout this channel here, man. And no, it is going to be really, I'm going to be learning with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do, is that obviously I want to learn, but also a lot of other people will be able to learn as well. We've got about 2 months worth of content in regards to what we're going to be doing in the country that I currently am in, Fiji, obviously, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be planning to go through 9 or 10 different countries this year. So I'm really looking forward to learn all about it. Daz says, I think so. Thanks, Daz. Whereas it's funny enough, I'm going to Vietnam on Sunday. I don't listen in geography at school, but this seems very interesting. Well, this isn't... don't listen to Jay, right? Don't listen to Jay in the chat. This isn't actually a geography lesson, right? This is me actually just telling you where I plan to go in 2025. So what you see in today's video is where you will see me at some point in 2025. Obviously, I don't know the exact dates of a few of them because I will play it by ear for a couple of them. But yeah, it is exactly what I'm going to be creating. And we've got a whole bunch of stuff already planned for where I'm at currently. Dazmate says, hello from Turkey. Thank you, Daz. You are a turkey. You definitely are a turkey. Aguero says, are you sure you have been to Australia? I don't believe it. I need proof. No, I have not been. I've been naked since Christmas Day. What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing here? We got people saying it's geography class. We got Dad's mate saying he's from Turkey. He's a turkey, that bloke. And then we got someone bloody saying naked since Christmas Day. You know, this is what's happening here. This is what we've turned into. This is we've been here for 2 seconds here on BKRtravel, and this is already what we've turned into, man. But look, I think the first one we'll slap down as well alongside. I don't know if you can see it here on the map, but I can click on it over here. Is that visual? Is that visible? No, I don't think so. I'm going to move it across. There you go. You can see it in this right-hand side of your corner, just down here. That is, if you look at the right-hand side of your corner, you can see the red cup now in Fiji. Now, I am in Fiji. You guys know this. My family is over here, and there is so much to explore here that is not just the average, regular experience that a lot of people do have when they come to a country like Fiji. It is a tourist-based country. Still, I wouldn't even arguably, technically it would be classed as a third world country, but I wouldn't even make that argument. I'd say that it's probably in between, realistically, based on all the tourism, and there is so much to explore, and there's so many things outside of the hotspots, like your Denaraus, like your Mamanuca Islands and all that type of jazz, even your Suvas and the whole Coral Coast. There is so much here that you can create and smash out. And obviously I know a lot about Fiji. I'm very well in tune with this country, and I feel like I can help a lot of people out into understanding a lot more about the country, which I'm really looking forward to creating content for over the next two or so months. I'm actually here for probably about for 2 weeks or so, but we're going to be putting out a whole bunch of stuff for the next 2 months before we do head across to the next country, which will be really, really exciting. And now let's click on over here. The next one will be the United States. I will be in the United States at the end of February and beginning of March. I'm going to be going to Las Vegas and also Hawaii. Now, Las Vegas, for all the NRL fans out there, will be very well aware that is due to the start of the NRL season, which is the Penrith Panthers taking on the Cronulla Sharks and also the Raiders taking on the Warriors. We're going to be heading over to Vegas, and obviously we've got our BKR Sports section that we're going to do, but I'm also going to be creating BKR travel content whilst I'm there. Try different kinds of foods. I've actually been to Vegas before when I was doing the Rugby Sevens back in 2019, but I didn't really experience it that much. I was kind of there just for the Rugby Sevens, and I didn't really experience it as much as I want to. Not going there to gamble, before anyone says. That's not the purpose of it, even though Vegas is very well known for that. But there is a lot of history there as well. There's the surroundings. They're in Nevada, and there's a lot to create. So it's really intriguing, that one. But Hawaii is one that I've never been to. So Hawaii is, I think it's about 7 hours or so from the West Coast. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong there in the chat. But I think Hawaii's about 7 hours from the West Coast. Obviously, it's the likes of Pearl Harbor. I love my surfing and beautiful waters there. So I definitely want to get to some kind of surf break there and show that one, because you hear about all the great waves, all the big waves, and the Gold Coast has some great waves, but Hawaii is like the mecca, the absolute mecca when it comes to surfing and when it comes to that kind of beachy vibe there, man. So yeah, that's going to be a massive one, because that will be that'll be the first time on the channel that I will be showing a place that I haven't been yet, because obviously Australia we've been, Fiji we've been, and then Las Vegas we've been, but you'd actually be experiencing it firsthand as well with me in Hawaii, which will be good. Dasmate says especially, well, no, that's not happening, especially not when we're about to get into the next country. Are you serious? Really? Yeah, I know you know which the country is that I'm about to bring up as well. But also, I do intend to, this is no promises or guarantees in regards to this next one. So there is Vegas, there is Hawaii, but my intention is absolutely to be in Chicago by the end of the year as well. In 2025, I'm really desperate to get back there. You guys know I love the city of Chicago. I've actually filmed a couple of videos here on the channel already. One reviewing Portillo's, which is, I got roasted by the Americans, by the way. If you go back and look at the comment section on that video, so Portillo's is like an Italian beef, and nobody in Australia would know what an Italian beef is. But it's like I can't even really remember. But it was double dipped. You go and watch the vlog. Go and watch the vlog. I actually nearly got robbed as I was on my way there. Fun story and fact too. Fun story and the truth as well. I actually almost got robbed as I was going to a Portillo's in an area that a lot of people said probably the wrong one to go to. But I didn't, thankfully. Thankfully I did not. But I went there and I ordered this Portillo's and I got it double dip because that's what everyone told me to do. And then, so basically you get your fries and you get your cheese sauce, and then you get the Portillo's Italian beef. But I didn't realize that the cheese wasn't for the Italian beef. It was for the chips. It was for the fries. So I was putting the cheese and dipping it with the double dipped Italian beef rather than dipping like the fries and stuff through it. And I thought it was amazing. I thought that was a great idea. I thought that was the way to go, man. You know, for me, I genuinely, I love that shit. I loved that shit. That was good like that, but I got told that I did it wrong. I got told that I did it incorrectly, and yeah, no, I got absolutely slapped for that one, to be completely honest with you, by the Americans. You can see the comment section. It's the reacting or reviewing Portillo's Italian beef video on the channel, but again, it was for the fries. So if you ever go to Chicago and you ever get a Portillo's Italian beef, don't ever put the cheese on the... Well, I would suggest personally you should. I personally would suggest that you should do that. But there is a lot of people who will be offended by it. There is a lot of people who will be offended by it. So yeah, look, Chicago is definitely a place that I'm desperate to get back to. A lot of sport there, a lot of great architecture, phenomenal history as well. You know, Lake Michigan is beautiful. People look at Chicago and have this real misconception about, you know, it just being simply dangerous. And it's like, as you'll see on this channel where we go through all these different countries, you can find danger if you're looking for it. And occasionally you will obviously potentially see a situation or get into a situation no matter where you are. You can find it in Australia, man. And everyone thinks you can find it in Fiji. I can promise you that. I can tell you right now somewhere to go and you'll probably find it. So although, you know, there are definitely areas to avoid, you don't need to be in those kind of areas. So I really want to dispel a lot of those myths that you do obviously find that people really throw towards, especially specifically American cities as well, and then a lot of the Middle Eastern countries. But unfortunately, I won't be able to go to the Middle East just yet, you know, but I would love to go. I would have actually ideally gone there, but we all know that's probably not the best place to go as we currently speak. So yeah, look, Australia, Fiji, and then America, and I'll probably be getting back around mid-March for that one, where we will then be assigned to go, which is a place that I've researched the life out of me. I'm so intrigued and so excited to go to India, which is a massive country, and you don't actually realize how big it is. Like, I'm telling you, you do not realize how massive this country is. There is no chance that you will, in one trip, and I'm gone for 3 months, but there is no chance that you are able to experience anywhere near the amount that you actually want to do and go through the main areas. Like, I'm planning to do like a pretty similar-ish to a regular, I guess, tourist map area where you go from like Delhi to Agra to Jaipur, then you go across to Jaisalmer, down to Udaipur, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Goa, and then across to Bengaluru, which was previously known as Bangalore. Now, I'm planning to do all that, but there is so much more that you're not being able to see by doing that. There is the south of India, there's the north, and there's the northeast, and there's actually a really interesting thing. If you actually look here on this map of India, you can see Bangladesh here. Now, what I didn't actually know is that India surrounds Bangladesh like in a really weird formation. Obviously, you've got Nepal there, and you've got Bhutan, and then you've got Bangladesh, and India goes through all three of those. They go through all three of those, and then come out here across to where Myanmar is, and obviously meeting with China. Now, you can see on the top left of India that you can actually connect with China as well. But that area, that top area of India, which we'll get into in a video, is not really an accessible area due to a few issues with Pakistan and whatnot. But I found, when I was doing my research and whatnot, I found it super interesting that India actually goes through 3 countries here and then has like a pretty large section over here right next to Myanmar. I didn't even know about that. I always just knew that main portion. that main portion there. So, but yeah, look, I'm going to be going there for about 3 months. To be honest, it's going to be something that I want to immerse myself in. And we're just going to go for a week. You know, you can't experience too much in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. A lot of what I want to do on this channel is going to be trying to immerse myself into the culture. And Jay said Indian Vindaloo curry review. Mate, there will be that many food reviews and curry reviews. I love curry. I love spicy curry. I love everything that involves the cuisine of India. However, as we'll speak about, there is things that you need to be careful of. And, you know, I am going in with a completely open mind. A completely open mind. This goes for everywhere. My ideal mindset going into these countries is going to be a completely open mind where I am willing and open to try and dispel, firstly, misconceptions, but also, without being silly, you still need to be completely aware and understanding of your situation, your surrounding, right? You still need to be aware of what you're doing and where you are and all that kind of jazz. So I do really want to reinforce the fact that by going to India, a lot of people have this weird mindset where it's just only, you know, dirty and all the bad things. But yes, that is there, but there is also a whole beautiful side to India and such an incredible, you know, obviously you've got your culture, but such an incredible, there's a mountain range, beautiful mountain ranges up near Nepal and up in the north of the country, and even closer to Bangladesh as well. You know, you've got that real high pollution area around like Delhi and whatnot. I'm not really too sure in regards, this is what we'll find out. I'm not really too sure in regards to the south areas, but I know that Delhi is pretty bad for it, and there is all that. But I just really want to kind of show a first-hand experience, because I never originally growing up thought I would be actually going there, because there is such a negative representation of it. There is such a negative representation of this country. So I would really like to go there and be able to, you know, give my honest truth in regards to, you know, the beautiful side to it, and show you the negative, but also the beautiful side to it. So yeah, look, that's one that is my biggest looking forward to right now, especially being there for 3 months. Like out in Jaisalmer, there's a desert. It's a desert near Pakistan over here, and you can like sleep under the stars and the tents and whatnot. And there's a thing called Bung Lassi, which I'm still 50-50. I'm still super 50-50 if I have this, because I would want to have my wits about me in a country I've never been to before. But Bung Lassi is a drink. It's like a milk drink that is marijuana. It's a weed drink. It's something that I can't even really explain, man. Dead set. It's something I can't even really explain. But apparently it gets you like high from drinking it. Now, you do have to be careful in regards to the milk that you drink as a tourist and as a foreigner and whatnot. But it's something that would be, you know, I'd consider it. Depending on the situation, I would consider it. But that's the thing. I'm open to it all. I'm open to all the different cuisines and whatnot. And I've done pages and pages of things that I would like to achieve when I'm there. And a lot of people, you know, when they do their travelings, they have to have a dead set itinerary. I don't have an itinerary, but I have a solid guide in regards to what I do. But also that guide, I am very flexible in regards to how long I stay in areas, depending on what I feel like that I want to show and want to do. You know, at the end of the day, it is what I want to do, and you guys are coming along with me. Try pani puri. Apparently tastes really good. It's kind of like a one-bite snack food. Looks good. Mate, if you saw the document that I have in regards to the types of foods that I want to try, mate, it's just full on. Like, there is dead set so much, man. There is so much. And the good thing about India, right, is that from what I can see, there is all completely different styles all across the country. So it's not like, for example, you get a country. What's a good country to use here? Well, I guess you can say Australia. There's no real specific Australian cuisine, to be completely honest with you, because we are so multicultural. But it's all very similar across, right? Where would be, I guess, the English, or United Kingdom would all be extremely similar. I would love to prove that wrong, but the English would be extremely similar. I feel like a lot of Spain, that's France, I feel like a lot of Spain would have pretty similar styles of their cuisine, whilst in comparison, India is just so different from the north to the west to the south to the east and the central. And the central is one that I can't even go to. One of my favorite movies of all time is a movie called Lion, which is about, it has Nicole Kidman in it as well, and Dev Patel. It's about an Indian boy who actually got lost as like a 4 or 5 year old and ended up in a train all the way to Kolkata, which is out near Bangladesh. And he was in the literal middle to south, near a place called Indore, I think it was. And he ended up falling asleep on a train and then ultimately moving to Tasmania and then trying to search and find where he's from. Now, I actually wanted to go there. I love that movie. If you want to go search it, it's called Lion. You really should have seen it. But I wanted to go there, but it's just in the middle of nowhere, man. It's like literally just in the center. So I could change my mind. I could say, you know what, I'm not going to go here. I'm going to go there. I could say, I'm going to stay an extra week. I'm going to go there. It's all part of it, man. It's all part of it. Nothing's completely locked in. And that's exciting that you don't necessarily know what your next step is. You have a good guide, but things can change like that. Things can change like that. So I'm very open to moving around on the fly there. Rogan Josh is solid. Yeah, Rogan, obviously, that yes, but you've got to remember as well that a lot of Shelley Rogan Josh is solid. Yeah, you've got to really remember as well that a lot of the time when you're having, for example, Indian food or even like Japanese food is so different to where is it? It's up here. Japanese food is so different to what we have. It gets very westernized as you bring it across. Now, Indians not too much so, but their main cuisine and their main dishes and whatnot isn't necessarily butter chicken from what I know and whatnot. But yeah, and same with Japan in regards to sushi. The sushi that we have here, like teriyaki chicken and whatnot, is completely westernized. They don't have that kind of style. It is so different. So that's what I'm saying. You go to these places and you have this thought process and these, all what I'm saying here will change whilst I go there. And when I go there, it will change because you will get to experience it firsthand and be like, oh, well, that's kind of bullshit and that's nonsense. But yeah, they eat very differently to how they eat over here, and how the food is shown over here. So looking forward to that. I think we move off there. So they'll be there for about 3 or so months. And then right now I'm tossing up between whether I go to Bangladesh or I go to Vietnam. Now, for people who, some people may know, but my dad lives in Vietnam. He's not Vietnamese, but he moved over there. So I will be seeing him at some point. So this is a must-do country in 2025. But Bangladesh is one that I really wanted to kind of do. I found that it was a lot of people were saying it's really impossible for tourists. It's really hard because a lot of India, you still get a large portion of people who can speak English. But Bangladesh, you need to fly to either Kolkata and train across into Bangladesh, or you need to fly to a place that's right in between Nepal and Bangladesh and then fly from there into Dhaka or into a top area up here, can't remember the city's name, and then travel down. But there's also a cutoff point as well. So Bangladesh is a really difficult country when you're looking at eventually one day that I'll go there, but I'm just trying to really figure out if that's what we want to do. I'm just trying to figure it out. If anybody here has been to Bangladesh and has any idea about it, then please feel free to drop into the comment section, man. Please feel free, because that is a place that I'm intrigued by. I wouldn't say that a lot of people outside of that kind of Asian region would be too invested in Bangladesh. I feel like everyone knows about India and the Pakistan and maybe not even too much Myanmar, but no one talks about Bangladesh. No one talks about Bangladesh. So that's something that would be up my alley. Locky's Robert League says you should spend a few days in Singapore, really nice, and a quick stopover before you head to India, Vietnam. So there is that thought. It's very expensive though. It is Singapore. Where is it? It's you're probably not even going to be able to find it on this map. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Singapore right there. It's a very expensive place, and considering I'm doing all of this travel, I am kind of looking at because I'm doing a significant amount, I'm kind of looking at more so combining a whole bunch. And this is across months and months, right? But I'm more so kind of looking towards this region for the time being, which I guess does have Singapore in it, but I just feel like there's so much more to explore in a culture right this very second out of these countries, and then eventually at some point maybe we get to Singapore. But I do know that Singapore is a nice country and it's very different, but also it is on the pricier side. So I think we're going to build ourselves up to that area. But I appreciate the suggestion though. I do appreciate it. Take a face mask if you go to any of the spice markets, can get a bit overwhelming. I did hear this. I did see that it can be. So I like I said, I love chili. I love spice. I love all this kind of stuff. But yeah, once it goes into your nose, you start sneezing. It really gets full on, and really is something. And that's another thing as well that it's going to be fun to find out about. Is that you can love chili, you can love spice, but their spices and their chilies are different, right? So it doesn't actually suit your body and a lot of the Western body, apparently. So although a lot of people make the mistake of going, I want your spiciest shit. I want the spiciest curry you've got. And that's a mistake. That's a mistake because even if you can handle the actual spice of the curry itself, it heats you up from the inside as it goes down, apparently. So I will try it. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely keen to see that, but it will apparently get you in ways that you've never experienced before, and it will spice up your whole insides. There is a lot of people saying that they had spicy stuff in, I think it was Ahmedabad, and it literally felt like it was going into their quads, into their legs. And you're like, what? What are you talking about? How does that even make sense? How's it possible that food, the spice you can feel in your legs, but they were saying like they felt it like surround their quad, which is such an out of this world thought process to have, but it's something that we aren't aware of and we don't really know, but is out there. So yeah, that's why I find traveling so much fun, because you get opened up to a world that you don't even understand. Your brain can't even connect. I love chili. Yeah, but this area, this region of the world in Asia, you can't mess with that kind of chili, man. That chili is something that you need to be super careful of. And like I said, my dad used to own a chili business. He used to own a chili business and do the markets and whatnot in Broadbeach and Coolangatta and Burleigh in the Gold Coast. So my dad used to have that stall, and he would have like this 10 out of 10 hot sauce that came from Texas and whatnot called Pleasure and Pain. And it was crazy, but it's not crazy like this part of this region of the world, man. So after you eat the spiciest curry in India, the toilet is going to hate you. Yeah, well, that's just a part of it, man. that is just a part of it. And that's why you're so open to kind of talking about this kind of stuff and speaking about it, because that is real life. Like, that is what happens. At the end of the day, you've got to be honest with it. You don't focus on the negatives, and I will never be focusing on the negatives with this channel. I'm never going to be focusing on the negatives, but you've got to show the negatives and tell people, hey, listen, be careful of this, don't do this, probably best to not do that. But also, don't just centralize everything and then make your mind up based off of the negatives. You have to have an open mindset to all the other. I guarantee the negatives do not far outweigh, as what people say, opposite what people say. I guarantee the negatives do not far outweigh the positives, and I'm talking about every country. And also, the media will tell you things about countries that aren't necessarily true. But anyway, that's not the point. So you've got Bangladesh there, which I'm very hesitant on. I'm 50-50 because I just don't know. This is what I'm saying. I'm playing this by ear. This is a guarantee. Like, everywhere I've done so far is guaranteed. This will be happening. This will be happening. This will be happening. And this is happening right this very second. And now I get to a point where I either decide to go to Bangladesh or I go to Vietnam. For the purpose, I'm actually going to click Vietnam here. Now, like I said, so I'm going to probably start up there so Ho Chi Minh is down here. Hanoi is at the top. So my plan here is Hanoi at the top and then train/bus down. Trains and buses experiences are very different. They are very, very different, man. Trains and buses experience, it's a 50-50 gamble. You flip a coin, you'll have a good experience or you'll have a bad experience. So yeah, as you go down there is about 5 or 6 different stops. There's also like at the capital of coffee in Asia or something like that, just above, it's not just above Ho Chi Minh, it's kind of like midway down. I know you can't see. Can you see when I move the mouse, can you see the big, hold on. I'm going to try and see if I can see. I don't know if you guys can see the actual mouse pointer. No, you can't. You can't see the mouse pointer itself. You can only see when I highlight stuff. So I can't really pinpoint where I'm talking about. But I love my coffee. I love my coffee. And there is a place in Vietnam that is next to Cambodia at the top right-hand corner that is very quiet, very segregated from the main touristy spots and whatnot. And I will say this as well in regards to traveling. There's a reason why they're the main touristy spots. There is so much more to do, but there is a reason why they are the main hotspots. There is a reason why everyone congregates there. Because there's either something historically or culturally that represents the country there that people want to acknowledge and see. So it's like, don't just avoid these places just because it's such heavily tourist populated. Don't just call it a tourist trap for no reason. You know, there is a reason why it's there, but then again, there is also so much else as well. If you go on any buses, don't sit on the seats above the rear axle. I would love you to give us a story time here. I would love you to give us a story time. You need to give us a story time. Jason, Sri Lanka is better than Bangladesh. I did think about Sri Lanka, and I'll tell you, a big reason why I thought about Sri Lanka is because the Andaman Islands are over there. Now, a lot of people, most people I feel like would be aware of North Sentinel Island. Not saying I'm going there, I have no interest. Another thing I want to say, I do not have any intention to treat anywhere like a zoo. Like, I don't have the intention to go and book a, viewing a slum class kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I have no interest in, like, even remotely trying to get close there. But I'd love to see it. It's just something cool that you'd like to see as you're flying the plane. So, as you fly on a plane from, I believe, the Andaman Islands to Sri Lanka or Andaman Islands to Bengaluru, I'm pretty certain you can see it to the left of the plane, which is really, really interesting. If you don't know about North Sentinel Island, you should go check it out. You should check it out. Jay says, especially if it's a long haul or overnight, it's the worst spot on the bus to ride due to the suspension being clapped out. Oh, fair enough. Well, in this trip, man, there's going to be a lot of buses and a lot of trains. A lot of buses and a lot of trains. But you guys will be there for the journey. You guys will be along for the journey the entire time. So yeah, Vietnam, there's... Oh, man. Let me... What should I do it? Hold on. I'm going to click over here. I'm going to click on this. Can you see that? No. Alright, so I'm going to go into my OneDrive because I've got like the list of the places that I am intending. I guess that's not even necessary in regards to this video to go through. Otherwise this video might go for 3 years. Alright, I won't bother with that. But yeah, Vietnam. Vietnam is definitely... I'm certain that I more than likely will go from Bangalore across to Hanoi. Again, if you go there, you have to go back into India to get out. You can't actually... Bangladesh is not a place where you can fly from Bangladesh to Vietnam, anywhere around here. So you have to fly in, and then you have to fly out back into India to go back. And I just don't feel like that's necessary. But yeah, so I think that immediately we'll cross over there. I'll see my dad down here in Vietnam in a place called Vung Tau or something like that, which is a very popular tourist destination on the beach down there. But Vietnamese, firstly, obviously, love their cuisine. But Vietnamese is, I feel like that's like a real popular destination nowadays for Australians. You've got your Bali that used to be, and you've also got your Fiji, but I feel like Vietnam is a real tourist hotspot for Australians and whatnot nowadays, where I don't feel like it really ever used to be. I think people are really starting to understand and wake up to the beauty of Vietnam. Very busy, very populated, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in going in Vietnam, and I will definitely be there at some point. I haven't even seen my dad in 7 to 8 years. 7 to 8 years. I think it was 2018 when I last saw him. 2018 or maybe 2017. No, it would have been 2018. So 7 years since I've seen him. So that'd be a good time over there. Now, in between, there is Cambodia and also Laos. Now, there's a potential that I go from Ho Chi Minh across Cambodia on a drive into Thailand. There is the potential of doing that. Or there's the potential of just flying straight across to Thailand. There is Laos as well, which I don't believe I'm going to be able to get to. But I feel like this will be played by ear again, like Bangladesh, but I feel like I might fly across to Thailand. I feel like a lot of these other places I'll get to at another point. I'm going to fly across to Thailand and then experience about 2-3 areas up in that northern section. And I feel like a lot of the time with Thailand as well, people focus towards the beach. I want to go inland. I want to go to a place that no tourists really go to, and really do a whole heap of research in regards to that. This section up here, so you got Laos, you got Myanmar, which is, they're right next to each other there, and then right at that like top area, I don't feel like a great deal of people really focus or talk too much about that. So I always get interested by things that people haven't seen before, or a lot of people don't really get to experience, and I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Like I said, at least I'd say Thailand. Oh, Thailand's definite, bro. Thailand is a definite. Thailand is an absolute definite. So yeah, you've got that top region, and then there's also that right-hand side region on the eastern side, which is close enough, which is right next to Laos, a little bit above Cambodia. You got that area, and then you just kind of make your way down. So that's why you can kind of see a map. You can kind of see how it's done here. So it comes from India, you go all the way across, and then you go down to the bottom here, and then up into Thailand, and then down, which will move into the next country. So you've got kind of like you've got a direction. But like I said, things can change on the fly, and this may not happen in regards to the exact positionings and whatnot, but it's always good to have a basis before you leave and before you go. So there to the east, down to the south, northwest into Thailand, and then come down via Thailand into, you've got Malaysia there, you've got Indonesia there. The Philippines is another one that I've really heavily considered. Philippines is another one. But I feel like on this trajectory, you would probably go down into Malaysia. But if you do Malaysia, it would be quite unfair just to do that one island that's connected, well, not the island, but that one place that's connected to Thailand, and not cut across over there to the one next to, where's that place? Brunei. So Brunei's there, Indonesia's there. If you cut across from Thailand into Malaysia on the same area, it would be super unfair, in my personal opinion, to cover that content from that place and not get to experience the one that's close enough to Philippines over here, where Brunei is there. I wouldn't probably think about Brunei just yet, and then right above Indonesia. But that's, I guess, the thing that you've got to come to terms with in regards to traveling too, is that you're not going to experience everything. You have to select where you're going to go. You're not going to get to everywhere that you necessarily want to go. It's just not going to possibly happen. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. So you have to come to terms with that. I feel like Malaysia's a really, really good shout here. I think it's a really, really good shout because you can kind of do that, and then you can have your pick between the Philippines, or you can do Indonesia there. You can have your pick whether you go north into the Philippines, not that far north to Taiwan, not the place right now, I don't believe. But then again, could be wrong. Could be all media stuff. And then, so yeah, you either decide Philippines or Indonesia from there. You can fly from Thailand down to Perth, China. On your way back, I'll ask Mr. Chin to open our borders for you. Thank you, Jay. Like you said, Alex, when you go to the US, I'll be in the US definitively at the end of February, beginning of March for Vegas, and then Hawaii. And then by the end of the year, around Christmas time, I would ideally like to be in Chicago. Ideally, I'd like to be in Chicago. So they're the three cities that I'm definitely into. I aim to be in Chicago by the end of the year. So yeah, for the sake of it, I say Malaysia. I actually don't know a great deal about Malaysia. I actually don't really know a great deal. Obviously, we all know the Malaysia Truly Asia. Is that the advertisement for Air Malaysia? Malaysia Air? Whatever it is. Is it Air Malaysia? I'm not sure. Malaysia Truly Asia. I think that's the one. But I have no idea about it. No idea whatsoever. I get the vibe that maybe it would be similar to Cambodia in a lot of ways, or similar to... I feel like it would be different to Thailand. I feel like it would be quite different. I have absolutely no idea. From like a pure vibes check, I would say Malaysia does seem prestige worldwide. I would say Malaysia does give me a very Cambodia vibe, but that could be so wrong and so all over the place, man. That could be so all over the place. That could be something that I have absolutely no clue about. That could be... If anyone's been there, let me know. That could be... Yeah, that would be somewhere that I have nothing. No knowledge on. which is beautiful. Which is beautiful. It's beautiful to not know anything. I know a lot about this, and I know quite a bit about Vietnam and Thailand, but to not know anything about Malaysia, and I would even, like, Philippines would be in the middle area of knowledge. Indonesia, also very, Bali, but what about everywhere else? Bali, but what about everywhere else? Haven't heard of Malaysia since F1 stopped racing there. Oh, they don't race there anymore, do they? I don't watch F1, so I wouldn't know. But also, you know what the beautiful thing about cricket is, about sport, about the country is that I can go watch the IPL games. So there is, in India, there's IPL in Delhi, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and Bangalore. So there's like 5 different places I can go to there. I've actually had a lot of people on the, comments and whatnot saying, do that. I had a lot of people, especially when I was doing those with the cricket streams and whatnot, that would be a good mate of mine, Adam's like, oh man, I'd die to go to India and do that. And yeah, that would be something that would be a massive thing there. And I do want to get to the different kinds of sporting events, like even kabaddi there. In Thailand, obviously Thai kickboxing and Muay Thai and whatnot. I wonder what the main sport is in Vietnam. Does anyone know what the main sport is in Vietnam? I think that's probably football, isn't it? When you arrive in India, they will be crying over losing the Boxing Day test. It's very 50-50. I prefer Australia to win. One, because I'm Australian and I love Australia. But I prefer Australia to win because then I don't get the sledging and the shit talk, because they kind of like don't want to talk cricket when we win. But if we lose, it's the end of the world for me personally in regards to losing the cricket, but also in regards to having to deal with a lot of shit talk. Can watch some of the T10 cricket, sorry. I don't think so, Daz. I'm open-minded. Maybe. You know what? Maybe. Why is there just like a gap here in between? Am I skitzing it right now? Kenya, Tanzania. I'm not going anywhere near these places. Rwanda and Uganda. Surely there's a country in between there. I'm not off my rocker. Unless that's like a huge lake that I was never aware of. Is there not like a country in there? Come on. Someone's got to Google that for me, please. Is there not a country here? Unless that's like a massive lake. A massive lake that feels like it's not true. No way. I've never heard of that. Oh, you would have heard of that. Is this like a political world map thing where it's not going to tell you about a country? Anyway, we'll come back to that. So anyway, yeah, so then there's Malaysia. I definitely want to get to the Philippines. The Philippines is a must for mine. I feel like that's going to be a really interesting one in regards to, because there is a lot of, what's it called? There's like a specific season in the year, a typhoon season. But what I read from the Philippines is that like, they don't care when typhoons really happen anymore because they're just so used to them. I think they just had a really bad one or something as well. But like the Philippines, I don't really know a great deal about either. Obviously, I know Manila is the capital. And I know they've got a whole bunch of amazing islands. And I would like to get to an island, but I'd also like to travel the mainland. I know it's got a large, I don't think it's like a Mexican influence, but I feel like it is a Mexican influence. I feel like there is like a bit of a Mexican influence there. Or is it Spanish? Is Spanish the one I'm thinking about? Or it could be, surely, is it Mexican? I'm going to Google this. Ooh, that's not the one that I wanted. Alright, is it Mexican influence in Philippines? Oh, Hispanic, that's the word that I was looking for. The most significant Spanish influence is Spanish in the Philippines is the widespread adoption of Catholicism as the dominant religion, alongside noticeable impacts of Filipino language with many Spanish words in common usage. Yes, so I was right. So I feel like there's a lot to uncover there. Mexicans speak Spanish. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know that. No, what I'm trying to think of... What was I trying to think of? There was something... It confused me. Was it... Now, I know that Mexicans don't speak Mexican, but it's like I just felt like there was like a Mexican influence. But I could be completely wrong. But I know that obviously the Hispanic and the Spanish influence there in the Philippines. But I'd want to start up right at the top. I would want to start right at the top. And then Philippines is a really difficult country to understand where you want to go and what you want to do. It's very difficult because there's so many islands. With Fiji, you have a pretty good idea of where you want to go. You've got the mainland of Viti Levu. You've got the Mamanuthas and whatnot. A lot of people don't know about Taveuni, but Taveuni, there's another place. Savu Savu and whatnot. But you have a pretty good idea, and there's not many tourists go off the beaten path. But the Philippines, there is so many different beautiful islands, and there is so many different things. I feel like the north area of the Philippines doesn't get covered too much. Not responding, Daz. Not responding. But I feel like the north, or maybe even the real south area. But again, I don't know. I'm super open to it. I have no idea. It's why it's so exciting, because you just don't know. You want to know everything. You want to experience everything. You can't. And I find that beautiful, that you can't. You always want to, but you can't. So you're always learning, but you can never learn too much. Always learning. You know? So yeah, Philippines. And then we've also got Indonesia. I think I probably will skip Singapore. Unless we're in a different situation. That could be a place that we do head to. But I will leave it off here for now. Indonesia is a guarantee. Indonesia is an absolute guarantee, man. There's no two ways about it. I've never been to Indonesia before, never been to Bali. I want to experience that. A place that is an Australian tradition. I know it's very different to what it used to be, but I also wouldn't be going there just for the sole purpose of the partying, which a lot of people obviously do. But also there is just these islands down here. Also this region right next to Papua New Guinea. Is that called West Papua, or is that Indonesia? Or where's this place called West Papua? Where's West Papua? Apparently that's a dangerous place. Apparently it's dangerous. But like I said, I do want to, without being stupid, without being silly, still would like to see if that's true. Because I do feel like with large portions of the world, the media doesn't tell you the truth. But I would assume that West Papua is still pretty dangerous. But you know, if you're an American and you look at a global map of like where not to go and where to go and all that sort of stuff, they have like 80% of the world in yellow. Like, be careful. It's in civil war. Oh, is it? Where is West Papua, Joe? Is it this part of Indonesia? Like this right next to... So you've got Papua New Guinea there. Is it that border? And if it is, then why is it called... Is it Indonesia, or is it a similar situation to Taiwan? Is it a similar situation where Taiwan claims itself and China claims Taiwan? Because why can I not see it here on the map? I no clue. No clue. I was so intrigued in that the Kashmir area of India, but I really don't think... But then again, there's a lot of things online that say don't believe everything you see, but I also just don't know. I don't know if I could. It was once all Papua New Guinea. Oh, so the split, that split right there was all Papua New Guinea once. And then that split is a part of this civil war. Is that what you're saying? And does that mean that West Papua is that part of Indonesia, but West Papua is not recognised as the name and it is actually just Indonesia? That's interesting. I wonder what life would be like on that border. That'd be forlorn, I reckon. I know all about the highlands, Papua New Guinea and whatnot, and we're about to get to there in a second because that is a place that I'm going to be getting to in 2025. But yeah, I feel that would be so interesting, that area, and seeing the way people live on that line. But you'd have to be super careful about what you do. You have to do plenty of research. And that's the thing. I'm not going to these places with no research done. I'm doing plenty of research beforehand. I'm not one of these people who just... I know there's a lot of YouTube vloggers out there who just go. They just go. I couldn't do that. I'd need an idea. I don't want to walk into the wrong area. I don't want to be disrespectful to a culture. I don't want to be disrespectful to anyone. I want to have a good idea and concept of what I'm doing. So we spoke about North Sentinel Island before, Daz. We did. I spoke about it in between Sri Lanka and the Andaman Islands over here in India. It's just off the coast there of the Andaman Islands. you can see it from the plane. Obviously not going to North Central Island, but you can see it from the plane on the flight between Sri Lanka and the Andaman Islands, or Bengaluru to the Andaman Islands. But the Andaman Islands, I did consider it. I did look into it. I just feel like there's so much to do around here that I just wouldn't have a time on this trip. Like my next trip, I kind of want to head to this region. Back in World War II, it was New Guinea. Then it changed into civil wars, I think. Also politics and government deals, etc. Not 100% sure. Well, that's the whole purpose of what we're going to be doing here on the channel too. I'll do a lot of research and find a video on that. But something I want to say as well, with the way that I want to do content on this channel, when I'm in a country, the content is going to be specified, like all that. I'm not going to be diversely putting content out of all different places, right? I'm probably not going to be in the country when those videos are being uploaded, realistically, besides Fiji and whatnot, for a few reasons. But it's going to be like an all-in process for that month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, right? It'll be an all-in process. So, and like I said, videos once every 2 days. But yeah, Papua New Guinea would be on there, same with Indonesia. Those two. So you're kind of still doing that trajectory as you come across. The only different one here is the Philippines. We have to figure out if you go up like that or you just keep going down kind of deal. I will put Papua New Guinea on there too because it's got such a large interaction with Australia. And I do have a large BKRsport audience with Papua New Guineans. I do have a lot of people who message me saying, oh, come, do this, come experience Papua New Guinea. I feel like that's a very misrepresented country in a lot of ways too. I feel like they're very misrepresented because a lot of people don't necessarily kind of recognize that, yes, you've got bad people, quotation marks. Yes, you've got people who aren't necessarily on the same line of, rules and regulations like we all are in regards to how we believe you should live life. A lot of people in these rougher areas, they are also just people trying to get by. Like, for example, in Western Sydney, that gets shit on. Everyone shits on Western Sydney saying, bad area, don't go there, dangerous, ew. But there's a lot of genuine people there who are just trying to work hard to get through life with their family. So I feel like people generalise too much. They generalise way too much. Will your travel be outside of the NRL season or will it overlap? But there'll be a video on BKRsport to explain this. I'm going to be streaming throughout all these places. I'll be streaming throughout all these places, don't worry. But that's a conversation that'll be had on BKRsport. Def find a local guide in Papua New Guinea. Yeah, for sure. And a lot of online articles and a lot of Reddit and all that sort of stuff say India is very similar. But I don't think I'd do it there. I do feel like in Papua New Guinea you'd need one though. Because India has a lot of its negatives that is pretty public online. There is a lot of negatives that are pretty public online. So you could consider it, but I don't feel like it's as a necessity there as it is in Papua New Guinea. But hopefully that can be proven wrong. Hopefully. You've got to go in with an open mind, like I said. So yeah, then you got Papua New Guinea there. I have been to Vanuatu very briefly for like a day. I'm not going to include there. I do ideally. It's not on this map here. It's on the other side. They've actually got it on the other side. I do ideally want to get through Samoa and Tonga. I do ideally want to do that, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm going to click it. But Tonga's not on this map because that's Hawaii. There's no Tonga here. They actually don't genuinely have Tonga on this map. Oh, unless, no, it's Fiji. How do they have Samoa and they've got American Samoa? They've got, hold on, where is it? They've got American Samoa. They've got Samoa. They've got, obviously, Fiji over here. But they don't have Tonga. That's weird. I don't know why on this map they wouldn't have it. Unless I open this up. No. That doesn't do anything. Yeah, that's weird. That's super weird. That's strange. Sure. But Tonga and Samoa are definitely two places as well. Don't hire Avishit as a guide in India. I'm interested to see if he comes back, I'm interested to see if he comes back on Friday when we do our first stream. That's going to be because that test is over now, but like he'll get roasted. I guarantee he'll come in saying, Jace Fair, not our Jace Fair. Mate, the meltdown online's been incredible. It's been incredible. So yeah, Samoa and Tonga I want to add on here as well, but Samoa's been clicked. Tonga's not there. So you go through, Fiji is similar to Samoa and Tonga, but very different to Samoa and Tonga. And they've all got their beauty. There's all different things, and I've never been to Samoa or Tonga before. So you look here. So you got Fiji, Australia, Samoa, Tonga. That's 4. Papua New Guinea 5, Indonesia 6, Malaysia 7, Philippines 8, Vietnam 9, Thailand 10, India 11, United States 12. So I'll be in 12 countries this year, and that's on the fly. I'll be in 12 countries this year. So a country effectively per month. This I don't really include though. So I can say 11. And Fiji for me, Fiji's different. I'll say 11 because Australia don't really get included for mine. Doesn't really get included. So yeah, 11. If you want to go technical, then 12, but 11. That's going to be a wild experience, man. It's going to be a wild experience. I'm still trying to find and see if they've got Tonga here, but I know Tonga's more so like around that area over here, but there's just nothing. No one to lie, I had no idea American Samoa was a thing. So, Daz, American Samoa, I believe, is actually a part of the United States. I believe it's a part of the United States. I believe it's its own territory. It's like a New Caledonia, which is right here to the right-hand side. New Caledonia, which is, I believe, part of France, which you might find really odd. But I believe, they speak French. So New Caledonia, they speak French. I believe it's part of France. It's like Tahiti. Tahiti is also... Is Tahiti... Well, I think they speak French there too. I think Tahiti is also part of France. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Solomon Islands, yeah, not really. So yeah, that's kind of my goals right now. I've been watching a lot of Yes Theory recently. Like, I love Yes Theory. I would love to get to Alaska, but there's not this year. There's no way. I've got my time frame kind of set out. There's no way I'd be able to do it, especially with my ultimate goal to finish off the year in Chicago. So there's not time there, but in 2027 or 26, sorry, I would probably be looking towards the African region. I would probably be looking there. Maybe 2028, we look towards that European region. 2029 down here. You kind of, again, I would love to go here. I'm surprised they've got Palestinian territories on here. I'm surprised they've actually got the Israel and Palestinian territories separated right now. I don't think that's good considering the situation, but I'm surprised they've actually got on here. A place, this is actually something that you guys might know. Firstly, in my brain, I don't know why this is a thing, but this country, where is it? Oh, it's over here. Tajikistan. This country forever is ingrained in my mind. Do you guys, I want to ask you guys this in the chat, do you guys have like a random country that just never leaves your mind? Like a place that makes no sense. Like, why do you always think about it? Tajikistan's mine. If you watch BKRsport, you probably know I say I'm gonna move to Tajikistan randomly. I don't know what it is, but it really intrigues me. I don't know what it is, man. It's always been a thing too. Like, I couldn't care less in regards to a lot of places, but like Tajikistan just gets you going. I don't know why. I don't know. If you can explain why, then feel free to be my guest. Maybe because it's like such an opposite, a completely opposite life. Maybe because it's so off the Richter scale opposite to what we're like in Australia. Like, there's still similarities between a lot of these Asian countries and Australia. Maybe Africa's different, but Africa's a lot more covered than for Australian like education system than a place like Tajikistan is. South America, you have a lot more understanding of, but I feel like education actually doesn't speak anything about this. I don't feel like the education system actually does speak too heavily about Africa in Australia. This is a place that'll be a place that's going to be an interesting place to cover. Google it. It's a place inside South Africa called Lesotho. Always been interesting. Got to have your wits about you there, though. got to have your wits back there. But I guarantee you, there's so many people there. There's so many beautiful people there that live there and just struggle to survive. And that's what I want to show. Because people just have this, like I just said, my brain immediately goes, dangerous place. You know, you've got this dangerous kind of reputation. And I hate that my brain does go there. I hate it. But it's a part of life. It is. It's a part of life. So yeah, I think that's it for today's video. That's the places that we plan to go to in 2025. They're the places that we plan to go to in 2025. Jay says, the Mayan and the Incan culture interests me more than the pyramids in Egypt. The Mayan and Incan culture. So that's like Peru, in it. Oh, that's Chile down there. Peru's up here, in it. There it is. Peru. Is Chile a part of it? It's not Ecuador or Colombia. Colombia's a place I want to go. Colombia's one place I want to go. Very attractive people there. Hey, listen, it is what it is. Listen, man, it is what it is. And there's also a lot of history there too. People won't listen to that part though. First stream of 2025. Yeah, it does. Yeah, well, first video. First video on this channel that I've done in ages. Or stream. Actually, this is the first stream I've ever done on the channel. I've never done a streamer here on BKRtravel. And it's not really going to be a streaming channel. It's not really kind of that purpose. It's going to be more so videos. But from time to time we could do, especially when I'm in these places, it'd be good to do a stream also. Viva la Colombia! Viva la Colombia, Jay! Viva la Guadalajara! Viva la Guadalajara, son. That's in Mexico, though. Yeah, Chile, like South America does interest me for sure. You know, Brazil would love to go there. Colombia, like I said, interesting place right now. I feel like there's a weird, like, I will say this. The one place that concerns me about traveling to, and there's only one. I could easily, if I had the opportunity, I would go to Iran, I would go to Israel, I would go to Palestine, I would go all these areas. I would tomorrow. I would do it. This is the only place that really concerns me, Haiti. And that's because I watch YouTube. I watch these YouTube vloggers go there. And there's so much that I feel like going there, you know, it could come back to bite me. It probably, there is going to be so many beautiful people, amazing people and whatnot, but there's such a bad perception about Hawaii, Haiti, that it's just one place off of my mindset right now. Because if you guys watch as much YouTube as I do, Cuba really intrigues me. I would love to go to Cuba. Cuba. I would love to go there. Have a nice little cigar in one of those old style cars. Just riding down the road with a nice little cigar. One of those fedoras. I've never been a fedora wearer. Never. I used to insult my mate all the time when I was younger. He would wear a fedora. His name's Kobe. He's from Fiji. He'd wear a fedora. He'd think he's so cool. And I'd be like, nah, mate, get it off. But he would never do it. But it'd be super funny to go there. Bahamas obviously would be cool. I'm interested to go everywhere, and like even Haiti, I wouldn't say no, but you'd have to have a lot of protection, and you'd have to be so well versed and understanding, and you'd have to have a guide. There'd be so much there that you'd need to do. Need a cameraman for the Colombia vlog. Well, firstly, you don't even know how to spell Colombia, does. This isn't a university. This isn't the Columbia University. Say hello to Tupac and Kid for me. You know, this channel, like, I can delve into things like that if I wanted to. Like, for example, there's a series actually coming up starting not this Sunday. I think it might be next Sunday. When we're going to do some actual Fijian mythology. Yeah, so I'm going to go through, because, like, there's the shark god, Dakawanga. There is a dengue. There is all these different, like, mythology of Fiji that nobody knows about, and I feel like it'd be something that I want to really research and then put into content. I think that'd be really cool. So I've got that coming out in the next couple of weeks or so, and that'll be every Sunday on the off day, right? So like I said, every 2 days, every Sunday on the off day. That's going to go crazy when we're in India, because they have a lot of myths and legends and all that type of stuff. Australia, I feel like that'd be very, like the indigenous culture would have a lot of that mythology. Like the big snake or something it is, I think something. the big snake in indigenous culture? Something like that. Rainbow serpent? No, what am I thinking? Rainbow serpent? I don't know. But Fiji, there's a snake god, there's a shark god, and all type of stuff. So at the end of the day, this is going to be really, really fun. And I'm really happy that you guys are going to be joining me along with it. I'm going to do my best transitioning and being able to do BKR Sport and do BKRtravel. But BKR Sport will still be obviously smacking it down. I'll just not be on the Gold Coast. I'll just not be where I normally am. I'll be wherever I am in the world. But I'm going to jump off of you today, guys. Obviously, I will see you in 2 days' time for the first actual video here on BKRtravel. This was just a chill video, chat with you guys, saying the plans of the year. 2 days' time, you'll see the regular video schedule start. I'm going to be doing, obviously we're doing the basketball tomorrow, the Bulls game tomorrow against Washington or whatnot on BKR Sport, so I'll see you guys there. Obviously hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. Let us know in the comment section. Once this live video goes out, I want you to go into the actual comments section of the video, and if you've got any suggestions for videos or ideas or countries you'd like to see covered or places you'd like to see covered, cities and towns and ideas, please feel free to drop them into the comment section. I've got bucket loads. I've got heaps. But I'd love to see what other people have, and we can maybe include them as well. But like I said, thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys in a couple of days' time here on the channel. All right, thanks for watching. Catch you later. See you.